We're back. Fresh episode of Talking Game. I'm your host, Anthony LT King, Tape King, Tony. Whatever you call me lets me know what I was on when you was fucking with me. And we're here with a super special episode, college football episode, with my guy, my man, Deuce Prince. What up, Deuce?
Man, I'm doing well. That intro is forever a classic. I love it.
Yeah, I kind of, growing in this space, I was kind of thinking about, should I clean it up a little bit for the image? But nope, this is me. Once you
It,
change, that's when you get canceled. So I'm gonna stay me as long as I can, man.
it lets everyone know what they were on when they.
Lets me know what I was on. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
that's
Because
true.
I could have been on. It's different stages in life. Like that's literally why I go through it, because it's different stages in life, and I realize that people call me different things based on what I was on at that stage of my life.
Oh well, it's the same thing for me with Ron versus Deuce. So
See, there you go. So like when somebody call you Ron, like okay, you know me from this. You know what I'm saying?
all right, substitute teacher / coworker.
Facts. Like even in school, like it's funny we talk about this. Real quick, I almost wanted to switch to your cold opens after I've was on 434. By the way, I was like, I almost wanted to steal your mojo a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
What SNL pioneered it way before I ever got on it, and same thing with Pablo Torre. So
Yeah, the Pablo Torres are great too. But yeah, man, look, man, like you say, it lets me know. Because even in school, they called me LT. So if somebody called me Anthony, I was like, oh yeah, this is formal. You're not cool. You're not in the circle. You're not in the circle, man. But how you been doing?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm getting ready. So next weekend, my little brother John, who you've seen on the 434 defense, his senior day game is this weekend out in Indiana. So we're gonna go and support him and be there for him that day. It should be an awesome weekend. It'll be, my younger siblings, each of us have had stuff on Saturdays typically, whether it's football or rowing or anything. And
Yeah.
so, it's nice to get the whole crew together, and then in 2 weeks, man, or just under, or way less than 2 weeks now, going to the land of Clips, Pharrell, and
Ooh,
Cavalier football.
Star Trek.
Hell
Hey,
yeah.
you sent me a picture one day of your brothers. Do
Yes.
do do they ever say, hey, if we played against each other, I would pancake you, right, Deuce? Y'all have those conversations?
Every now and again we do. It's better that we have a defensive lineman in the group. You can add John can add a little speed rush off the edge. Being a defensive lineman, I don't. With me and James, since we were both offensive linemen, it doesn't necessarily equate equally. For us,
Yeah.
it's more it's more what we could do on each other on the basketball court. Because
Oh,
then my sister gets involved, and she's gonna grit and grind her way to a win.
oh man, there you go. There you go, man. But yeah, Charlottesville, man, your guys are balling out. Your post after beating Duke was actually no, not Duke. Was it the Duke game where he was like, we actually got to take a knee?
Yes.
That was hilarious. How was a less stressful Saturday for you? You're sitting there with the dog,
Yeah. So I also it was great for my girlfriend. She was like, "Oh, this is wonderful. I can read my book without any loud noises." I can.
Yeah.
And then the chocolate lab that was all snuggled up next to me, he's just a love bug. But the black lab is a therapy dog and
Okay.
can kind of sense when things are off. So if Virginia's playing in a stressful game, he will come over to me and be like you can lay on me if you need
Whatever
to.
you need. Whatever you need.
Exactly.
That is hilarious. I feel like I need that for the Panthers in the NFL because
Hey,
Sunday
keep pounding, man. They're doing good.
we're doing good, but Sunday got my pressure up, okay? Got
Yeah.
my pressure up. It was tough, but hey, we made it, man. I do have a question for you.
Yes.
So right now, Deuce is August. Is this how has this like far exceeded your expectations for the Virginia Cavaliers this season?
100%.
And what were your expectations for the Cavaliers this year? Like
I
your ceiling for them.
I thought we were going to go 7-5 and play
Okay.
in the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla St. Petersburg Bowl presented by like Poulon Weed Eaters. Like, and
Yeah.
that would have been fine with me because I was expecting a step up in the team because I think we got better quarterback play and we picked up some interesting guys in the portal. But 9 wins for the ninth time in program history was not what I was expecting. And we already have a chance to go for number 10 next week. So, like, yeah, no, this way exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, man. I mean, at this point, you guys still can find your way to the ACC championship in the convoluted ACC. Um,
There's a way we get a spot this weekend.
really?
If Georgia Tech loses, if Duke wins, and if I believe Louisville loses again, we just clinch it outright. But I don't want that. I want there to be a little skin in the game for us to keep going in the Virginia Tech game because like any little bit of sliver of we don't need to win this game is not going to be helpful.
Yeah, and you got to show James Franklin was coming to him, right?
Hmm.
Um, Oddly enough, I feel like you were one of the first people on the James Franklin might be at Virginia Tech, at least from what I seen. I have kind of cut out a lot of major publications for media now that I have friends that do their podcasts and stuff like that. So I might have missed it on like the ESPNs, the Sports Illustrators or whatever. But I swear, as soon as James Franklin got fired, you was like, he might be going to Virginia Tech, and I don't want him going to Virginia Tech.
No, I didn't want him at Virginia Tech. You know, James is a very, very good football coach as well as being a very solid CEO of a football program. I think that was one of the best things he did at Penn State was he was a very good like representative of the program in a positive way. You know, I I don't want to get too much into this, but James Franklin was able to really sidestep a lot of these stereotypes we have about the black football coach.
Yeah,
And I always thought that was a very interesting thing. And I think said a lot about how he approached things. I think people purely talked about him in the way that he coached and the way that he handled himself because I think he did a very good job in that regard. And I not to say that some coaches handle it better or worse, but I do think that he was a great model of how black coaches can succeed at that highest level and do a great job. And he's also a hell of a recruiter.
uh,
He made Maryland's life hell when Maryland tried to recruit Baltimore and, if Penn State swooped in on a guy or Rutgers in New Jersey, I don't expect that to change at Penn State. And now he can just add DC and Virginia Beach, which is a very, very underrated recruiting area.
yeah. That was one of his hotbeds. So
Hmm.
it's going to be interesting to see now telling the kids they don't even have to go up to Pennsylvania.
Blacksburg, Virginia is not an easy place to get.
Yeah,
It's a little bit easier to get to from Virginia Beach than it is State College. So,
just a little bit.
well,
Just a
did you
little.
did you hear him talk about the airport?
I didn't hear him talk about the airport. Only thing
So
I saw from his press conference was him saying he has no other skill than coaching, which is
I don't think that's true. He could probably be on a board in Fortune 500 America and probably
yeah.
do just fine.
He probably
But
could do politics at this
oh, absolutely. And
rate.
well, Penn State College, Pennsylvania did not have an airport that could support Penn State flying out or getting people to fly in. So they had to drive from State College to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which is not a short drive.
Yeah.
Where now Virginia Tech has a on-campus airport, as well as the fact that like Roanoke is right there for the most
Jesus.
part. So he was already like, yeah, we will use this to our advantage.
Yeah, man. But I'm gonna say this for you. Fuck Virginia Tech. We're talking about Virginia and the rest of college football right now, okay? Um, and double fuck Virginia Tech because the Hurricanes got them this week.
Man,
Um,
beat them by like 50, please.
I don't mind it at all. I wouldn't mind it at all. Um, when you look at the ACC and then you look at the scope of the college football playoffs, do you feel like 19 is where Virginia should be?
I would say yes, because I'm trying to be as uncharitable as possible towards the team.
I
Because
feel that.
I think you can get all whooped up and say that Virginia should be ranked above Michigan or should be ranked above Texas, but that's the difference between 19 and 17.
Yeah,
And the criteria for Virginia was always win the ACC. That was the ticket in. You
yeah.
know, I've come up with a term that, and this, people have probably used versions of this. I call it the helmet sticker tax. If you have the Texas Longhorn sticker, or you have that USC Trojan, or you have that Michigan winged helmet,
Or the Golden Dome.
or the Golden Dome, like your team is going to get the benefit of the doubt because on a football side, those schools are always bringing in the best talent.
Yeah,
And on the money side, those fan bases always bring large crowds.
that's a fact.
The playoff would be taking a risk with putting Virginia in the playoff, especially as an at-large team. They don't know what the audience is. Virginia, that's a basketball school, that's a baseball school. We don't really know what this is yet. So, I the loss against Wake Forest stunk because we lost our starting quarterback during the game. But then again, out of conference against North Carolina State, we can't really. There's no, well, we could have, should have won that game. Like we just didn't win it.
Out of conference versus North Carolina State is just
Out of
bananas.
conference to be played in conference in Brazil next year.
Yeah, that's have fun. Hey, have fun with that. And if they think they're gonna keep them college students in hotel rooms from the danger of Brazil, you out your damn mind. All right.
Man, Jim Caldwell. My dad coached for him for a number of years in Indy and Detroit, and he came out with a thing called the high cost of low living. And it was
Mhm.
kind of a, hey, here are some things that have gotten NFL players in trouble. Please
Gotcha.
don't do this. And I have a bad feeling that someone from either squad will be on the high cost of low living after that game.
Um, as I look at college football playoffs, and I felt like this when they first brought it in and introduced it, and they started the every Tuesday when it was only 4 teams, the every Tuesday show, right? I was
Yeah.
like, this is TV gold.
Oh, 100%.
Like this is TV gold. Do you feel like the reality TV of it has somewhat tainted the football or like what the playoffs could be football wise?
I like that there's a bit of transparency in what the committee values. I think that if it was just something where they came out with it at the end of the year, there would be even more people griping with it.
Mm,
Like, at least we know now that the committee values Miami's win over Notre Dame a little bit less,
don't
which
don't
I
get me
don't
started, Deuce.
which I don't agree with, but at least we know, and at least Miami knows. Now, Miami, I think, certainly is in a position to get an at-large bid because someone has to lose the SEC conference championship, someone has to lose the Big Ten conference championship, and we don't know what will happen with other teams. Say Michigan wins again against Ohio State. Say, Texas Tech loses a inexplicable game. Like there are things that can happen in this game, and Notre Dame climbing in the rankings will help Miami as well, I think.
I'm struggling with Notre Dame, Deuce.
I
I'm
am
struggling
too.
with Notre I'm struggling with Notre Dame. I was struggling with Texas, and as a Hurricane fan, the reason why I'm struggling is at what point does head to head matter, right?
Yeah.
And then let's scale back. We have a common opponent, NC State,
Mm-hmm.
and we beat the brakes off NC State. I mean, Notre Dame handled business as well. But if we got to compare like opponents, we did a better job against them, right? So like it's two fronts where what are we doing?
Right.
Like Notre Dame gets a lot of praise for losing to Texas A&M, which Texas A&M is arguably the best team in the country. I get that, and I get a lot of praise to losing to us. Well, put some respect on our name then.
Conference championship weekend will be weird because if Miami doesn't make it, they have a chance to Bama this thing. You know how Bama would lose the game to Georgia, not
Yeah,
go to the SEC championship, and would end up in the playoff? There is a possibility that Miami gets a similar backdoor in depending on what happens. And the committee wants to come out with a thing that will draw ratings and will draw intrigue. And so they might make some crazy change in the ratings or rankings just to boost the ratings. So, I think if Miami takes care of business down the line, I don't think there's any reason why they shouldn't be in, at least to me.
I agree, and I think that might be a good thing for the ACC, right? To get two teams in at that point because you got to.
The conference champion in Miami would be ideal. I think that's going to be Georgia Tech and Miami, and I think both those teams should be in.
For sure. I think the sneaky thing is if Georgia Tech pulls off that upset against Georgia.
And doesn't win the ACC championship.
Yes.
That is that is the committee chaos scenario because you kind of have to put Georgia Tech in. Say it's Virginia. Virginia gets in by being the conference champion. Are you going to leave out Georgia Tech and Miami? I don't think they will. I
I
think they'll
think
pick
they
one.
will.
I think I
I'm
think they'll pick one.
yeah, I'm starting to think the community hates the ACC. Like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm getting a little sick and tired of the SEC bias because as much as they say the SEC is such a deep and powerful conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same two damn teams, right? Like, how good are they? They're the same.
Yeah,
It's the same two, and you get the random LSU year, you get the random Florida year, right? And well, this year is the random Texas A&M year,
yeah,
but it's the same guys. I mean, even if I look at Bama and Miami have a common opponent,
that's true.
and the same, and they both went to Tallahassee.
I think one, two, three, however you rank them, A&M, Indiana, Ohio State. I think those three are in a fairly close grouping. Then there's a pretty big gap in my mind, bigger than I think the rankings say, just because it's one spot less.
Yeah,
Then you get to the one loss teams, then you get to the two loss teams. So like there is not a lot of difference between 12, 13, 14, all the way to really 17, 18, 19, really. Like
I
there's a lot of similar resumes in there. And I think that I don't think it's as much anti ACC bias as I think people are using the ACC's parity to promote the brands that they already want to promote. I think it's more they like the SEC than they hate any specific league.
I can agree with that.
The ACC just happens to be the bearer of this right now because if say Miami was an absolute wagon and was undefeated and then you had two loss Virginia and one loss Georgia Tech, I think there would be an argument for a second team to get in there, even if they, and especially if they got steamrolled by Miami. You let in Georgia Tech in at the 12th seed, and then because hey, they lost to the number 3 seeded Miami.
Yeah. You believe in Indiana?
Dude, I believe I've seen the tape and I've seen it in person. I went to Indiana versus Indiana State, and the trench play is legit.
As much as I'm talking about the college football committee and the way that is viewed, this is where I find myself being a hypocrite. Like I just can't wrap my mind around Indiana being a great football team. and it's only because they're Indiana. They've passed every test so far, right?
The helmet sticker tax, man.
Yeah, yeah. Like they passed every test. Like it's nothing Indiana's done. All right, I'm taking all the blame for this. It's just I think last year is what threw me off, right? Because they
Mm,
got off to that 9-0 start and it just faltered.
right.
They they haven't faltered yet. And I think the thing with me is I want to say Indiana's good, and I think they are good, but they beat Oregon. Is Oregon really that good?
We will see this Saturday. I think this is a better test than I think some people on the Eastern time zone may think, because I'm not a huge fan of USC, but I think they're a good football team.
I think USC is good. I think this, and I agree. I actually saw some people that cover basically Michigan sports, so that puts them in like Big Ten territory. And
Yeah.
they were saying like this has a lot more to do with the Big Ten than people are letting on. Like, it's
Yeah.
a huge game for the whole conference. And USC can upset some stuff.
They're tough out, and man, I I started watching Fernando Mendoza at Cal. I think
Okay.
I got introduced to him like a lot of people in the ACC world did, with the Calgorithm and when they had game day against Miami, and I was watching the tape and I was like, man, if you give him some crazy weapons, watch
Yeah.
out. And Indiana has gone out and done that. And man, they have this grumpy old head coach from Pennsylvania, and he is like a drill sergeant with these guys. Like I believe in the coach.
Yeah.
you
And
know,
coaching matters in college football, man.
I think I sent this to you, but the sideline reporter was talking to Signetti, and she was like, well, Indiana's never won in Happy Valley before. How do you think they're going to do it?" And Kurt's like, "This team has never played in Happy Valley." And
Yeah.
I'm like, I love this sarcasm so much.
You gotta look. And that's how you gotta be, right? When you're that kind of program, you gotta welcome all challengers and hey, if you're scared, go to church.
That's true. That's true.
If you're scared, go to church, man. So I'm gonna drink some of the Kool-Aid, dudes.
I, I
I'm gonna take a sip.
I think it's legit. I went to an IU game in 2010,
Okay.
and it was very blase blah. It was very just kind of like, all right, when's basketball season starting? The arena is right next to the stadium, so you can kind of tell where the attention is. And then going this year, it felt like a Big Ten football game. It
Yeah.
felt legit. So I think the people in Indiana are bought in. Obviously, the money's behind it, and the coach is there, and they've got the QB, and I think they'll do a good job.
I, I hope so. I hope so because honestly, this is what college football wants, right? And kind of wanted in a 12-team playoff, even though they would be the number 2 team as of
Yeah,
right now. You know, we're tired. I guess you're tired of the USCs, the Alabamas, the Georgias, the
right.
Ohio States. You know,
No one's told the committee that though.
no, not at all, no one, not at all. 'Cause, I mean, honestly, even if you look at Ohio State, right, that Texas win ain't got as much shine on it.
No, it really doesn't. I've been really disappointed because I was in on Arch. I did believe the Manning family hype, and I don't even think it's that much on Arch. I think the offensive line play has not been that great. I think Texas has become an SEC team
Yeah,
because their offensive line has gotten so much worse since they've joined the SEC.
I think I think Arch just needs some grace, man. I mean, the last name carries a lot of weight.
hmm
He came in with a lot of hype. Yo, going I mean, what was the expectation, right? Him leading them back to the playoffs, him maybe winning the Heisman. Bro, that's a lot to do in your first year as a starter, you know? Like
and,
that's a lot.
an unreasonable level of expectation, I think, and I think that's unhelpful for a lot of uh, quarterbacks. It might have been different if Arch had gone to the school that he was down to at the last two. Do you know what that other school was?
No, what was it? Was it Ole Miss?
when Arch was getting it down to his final two, it was down to the University of Texas at Austin and the University of Virginia.
Really?
The same year that Lenora Sellers committed to UVA.
That's great.
We almost had Arch and Lenora Sellers, which, like, I love Chandler Morris, but, like, can you imagine Lenora Sellers on this Virginia team?
Yeah, or even Arch. Like
Right.
even Arch. I think, the more that I'm looking at Arch Manning, the more I'm thinking Peyton never beat Florida nor won the Natty.
That's true. T. Martin.
Eli went to Ole Miss and I don't think he ever won 10 games in Ole Miss. You
Maybe
know, maybe Arch is just a NFL quarterback.
that could absolutely be the case. I don't discount that, and maybe this puts him in a better spot because if he ends up going in late first round, because I still think someone's going to take a swing on him. It's
Hell
not
yeah.
it's not when you go in the NFL, it's where you go. So this
Yeah.
this could be the long play, but no, I think Arch will be fine. I think if Sark stays there, that will be important.
Now that's interesting. Sark is definitely it's funny to hear 3 or 4 weeks ago reports of Sark possibly wanting to go to the NFL. And then last week Sark saying, well, if you fire everybody, who's gonna coach?
Right.
Well, Sark, if you leave, who the hell gonna coach? You
It
know,
it's a crazy thing, that Texas football coach position. It's a lot like being the governor or senator. You have a lot of other constituencies besides just Saturday football to attend to. So it's a stressful job, and there, people are, apparently there wasn't much behind the Tennessee Titans rumor, and so if that was just something that came up unsubstantiated, I'm sure he was like, "What do you? I didn't say anything about this."
true,
Why would I
true.
want to? I'm at Texas in Austin. Why would I want to go coach a 3-win team in Nashville right now?
At best, 3-win team. I don't know if they're gonna get the 3 wins, honestly, as bad as they're looking. Um, it is a fine line with the coaching and stuff because listen to him talk about it. I was thinking that too. I was like, okay, I do think we're getting a little fire happy with these coaches,
Yeah.
right? Only one team's going to win the Natty, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Only 12 teams are going to the playoffs, right? And it's probably not going to be the same teams every year.
Yeah.
But hey, coaches win championships and cash in immediately
Mm-hmm.
and they'll go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Or like they win 10, 11 games and they'll cash in immediately and go somewhere else. I wish they could find a way to just like kind of both sides have to honor their contracts, right? Like I
Yeah.
feel like it should be I don't know, maybe a 3-year lock in or like I don't know how to do this, but it is getting ridiculous with like the firings and the coaches just moving around. Like being the son of a coach, like how do you feel about like the coach movement, not even the player movement in college football?
So it's interesting because back in ye old days, you really couldn't evaluate a coach until year 3 or year 4. You
Yeah.
didn't know what you had because year 1 and year 2, you still have a lot of the previous coaches' guys, and a lot of the guys you've recruited aren't ready yet. And you had programs where you had guys that you had a scheme or a weight training program where guys literally were not good enough to see the field until their junior and senior year. And now I think people have seen these roster flips that have occurred in 1 year, say at a place like Indiana, where everyone thinks, oh, well, we should just do that. And if we just get the right coach or we get the right dude, then we can just do all of these things. And I just don't see a long shelf life with that. I think that if you have more roster churn, I think the coaches need to end up having a bit more of a hand. And maybe this is something that ends up going on with the GM roles that we're seeing. Maybe the GMs stay longer than the coach, but I think they're getting way, way too trigger happy because there used to be a middle class in coaching.
Yeah, right?
There used to be a David Cutcliffe at Duke who could win 8 games a year, produce a quarterback who got drafted in the 5th round, had a Daniel Jones every now and again. And
Yeah.
he was good at Duke. He had time there. He was there for, I think, like 16 years at Duke. Played good football at Duke. That's not easy.
At all with the eggheads, you know?
Now there's so much change. There's so much flippage. There are a lot of coaches who I just call kind of walking dry fits. Like they're the scheme gurus, they're the quarterback whisperers, and they just kind of go places because they say they're good with the quarterbacks or whatever, and they just kind of get hired and fired and recycle the whole thing. And I just don't think that's healthy for the sport.
It's not because I'm thinking, like you said, David Cutcliffe. Hey man, if I can win 7 to 8 games with the eggheads, the brainiacs, it's hard to get kids here.
Yeah.
That is good for our program. But the thing is, David Cutcliffe was cool with that.
Right.
James Franklin won in Vanderbilt and was like, "Oh, Penn State wants me.
Yeah.
Let me go," and I get you always want a new challenge. But we do need a middle class because even if you think about like Mark Richt in Georgia,
Right.
he was pretty much the middle class of the SEC. He was upper middle class, but hey man, go 10-3, 10-2, 11-2 if you win the Sugar Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
you're good. Now, bro, you got to get a natty. And
Yeah.
it's funny that you mentioned all this turnover, right? Or like the players, transfers and stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, if anything should tell you that this is a crapshoot, look at Carolina.
70 transfers. How on earth does that even happen?
Look at Carolina. It's not, bro. You know more than me. At some point, chemistry has to play a factor, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and I do want to preface this part. What we have right now is marginally better than what we had, because we had dudes that were trying to transfer to a school because they had a degree program that they liked, or because a relative was getting sick or getting old and
Yeah,
they wanted to be close by, and the NCAA was telling them no. And I just don't think that's right.
yeah.
I believe in some kind of system where you do get one move in your undergrad and you get one move for your 5th year.
True.
Or you sign a contract with a school. We go
At this
fully,
point,
we go fully professional, and you know what? If you go and play at, USF or even like Louisiana Monroe and LSU or Georgia or even Virginia notices you, make it like soccer, add a transfer fee,
mm,
add a buyout where Georgia pays Louisiana Monroe for that great cornerback. You have resource distribution that can then go from the rich in college football to the more middling programs. I think that would be helpful in some way. You can have. Do you follow the English Premier League at all much?
I it's too many soccer teams, man. I can't keep up.
There's a team called Brighton Hove and Albion. They play in a 15,000 seater. It's very nice, but it's a small stadium. They're on the coast in southern England, and all they do is they make millions of dollars by producing great players that Man U spend way too much money on.
They're a feeder system, basically.
Right. And so if you are that talent developer and you are that recruiter and you're at a school that's smaller, you end up getting more resources in a system like that. I think that's how I would structure it, at least to make it. If you're going to leave, you have to add some skin in the game to it on both the coach and player side.
With all this money, how long before we just call this the minor leagues?
I don't think it'll ever be fully minor league because the top tier of college football will draw more consistently than the NFL will. Like even the University of Virginia, if we sold out games next year, every game, we're 61,000. That's
Yeah.
like that's like 6,000 more than Soldier Field has.
Shit. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Then you think
Virginia.
about like the big house, 100,000, Kyle Field, 100,000, Tuscaloosa, 98. Yeah. Yeah,
Now,
you're right.
now,
Yeah, we're bigger than and in certain places in the South, they don't care about the NFL.
in the Carolinas, you'll have like you'll still see Falcons stuff in bars and stuff like that, or like the college game is just so deep entrenched in those parts of the world, and I
Yeah.
think you will always need college football because high school to the NFL will never happen.
No, yeah,
Like
no.
the I'll tell you a great story. So the difference between 22-year-old strength and 28-year-old strength, we played against an 8th year senior at East Tennessee State. This dude played linebacker. Like, we'd all been in the weight room for 4 years. This dude had old man strength at 28
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Like,
He's putting his hands on you and y'all like, "God damn, like, get off me."
and the NFL likes college because it's a minor league system that they don't have to regulate and they don't have to put money into, and they can just let do its own thing. So I think the NFL is incentivized to keep it that way as well.
I can feel that. I can feel that. Yeah. We gotta get rid of the 8-year seniors though, man.
Man,
Listen, my boy CJ, he said this, and I've been saying this for the longest. You're 28, 29, 30 years old, bro. You had 30 years to be good. All right. Take your ass to work. All right. You got 2, 3 degrees. Go be a productive member of society. All right.
well, the craziest thing to me was when those guys just started taking certificate courses just to keep playing.
What are we
like
doing?
like they weren't taking like courses towards a degree, graduate or undergraduate. They were just kind of taking these like leadership courses
Yeah.
at
Come
the
on.
school, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, if you had 8 years of eligibility for whatever reason, and you were going for a doctorate, great.
Yeah.
like, like grab your white coat and go make a ton of more money than NFL minimum salary when you're done. But
I'm
like,
telling you. Yeah. It's getting a little sickening, man.
yeah,
Like it's getting a little sickening, bro. Like you go play 30U, like I be seeing on Instagram, 3072. But these for real, man, it don't make no damn sense.
oh, it's awful.
It makes no sense at all, man. Um, Heisman, who you got for the Heisman?
So I was thinking Mendoza for a little while there.
Okay.
I want to say Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker at Texas Tech.
He has to get an invite, right?
He has to get an invite because he's so damn good.
He has to get an invite. I,
I-
I hate that, honestly. I hate that the idea of a defensive player winning is laughable because we know it's not going to happen if he
right.
plays no offense. I hate that for the sport of football.
The
In
other part,
general.
the other part of it is this is a good shot for a quarterback to not win the Heisman this year because the best player in college football is also Jeremiah Smith.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Who's the best player in college football? And yeah, definitely. Hey, that's South Florida water, man.
People know, like the Ohio State, like the national media is kind of like, all right, Ohio State steamrolled them again. Like, I think that once people start watching Ohio State in the playoffs again, because they
Yeah,
really haven't had much of a reason to watch them, they're gonna be like, oh my god, this dude is so good.
it's crazy. It's crazy how he was the best player since he stepped on the field. Like that's and look, that's damn near impossible to be a true freshman and not just the best player on your team. Like, bro, you're probably the best player in the entire country.
It's
And
it's insane.
and the only comparison is my boy Malachi Tony. Shout out to him. Just turned 18. You know?
Hey, shout out, because and if Miami season had gone differently, I'm sure we'd hear Ruben Bain in these conversations because that dude hasn't let up either.
Definitely hear Ruben Bain conversations, man. I was drinking the Beck juice early, and then he showed me why Georgia hated him.
Yeah,
Um, it's the
if
lack of accountability for
if
him.
Ty Simpson hadn't lost that game against Oklahoma, I thought it was going to be him.
I was definitely feeling Ty Simpson. Um, what's the running back from Penn State? If they weren't so terrible, he
Yep,
would definitely get consideration.
yep.
Um, Yes, yes. Best
Dante Moore deserves a shout.
part.
He,
They,
he's still very solid.
yeah. This is this gonna be
Marcel Reed, like
this is gonna be a very close Heisman race. But my boy from Texas Tech definitely has to get invited, man.
yeah, because
Like,
there isn't a runaway this year because the best players in college football are not quarterbacks right now.
which is cool.
I like that.
I think that's better for football. Like, I think this should be a year that a quarterback doesn't win it.
Remember the times where the best teams in college football had mostly quarterbacks that went in the seventh round or undrafted.
I am a Miami Hurricane fan because of the Ken Dorsey years.
Yep,
Okay, so
Ken
yes,
Dorsey, Gino Torretta.
yes.
You know, even if you go to the dominant Bama teams early on, like no shade to Greg McElroy or AJ McCarron, but like,
Thank you, thank you.
and like you had to find guys at Duke or at like
Look,
Boston College to find your quarterbacks or
when
Kansas
Tua
State.
came in at Alabama, that was like, oh, wait, they have somebody who can throw the ball now. This is a whole new dynamic.
Right. Like it is like there's a lot of great quarterback play happening right now and a lot of fun quarterback play happening right now. But like if you want to watch like guys that are going to make your jaw drop, right now it's on defense in college football because I think the defenses are starting to figure out the RPOs.
Yeah, yeah. Um, they and I think part of it is the NFL coaching trickling down to college, right?
Mm-hmm.
All that tricky. We've seen it all at the NFL.
Yep.
We've seen it all at a rate of speed that's quicker than you guys. So we're gonna be more gap sound. I'm gonna teach these guys to be more disciplined. You better learn how to read the defense and actually throw the ball through coverage.
The other part is that offenses tend to trickle up and defenses tend to trickle down in terms of like strategy. Like
Mm.
an offense, like the air raid started at high schools, then it went to college, then it got to the league after like 40 years. And then
Right.
once the league sees it, the solutions start to trickle down on defense. So right now we're in a situation where the defenses are start like the NFL defenses started figuring out the RPOs, and so the college defenses are starting to figure it out.
TC said if Miami would have stayed that 0-1 Miami, I would have stayed. He's a former Hurricane fan. I can't leave my guys, man. We're getting back. Cristobal.
I think this year should be encouraging for Miami.
It is. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm encouraged because I know we're going in the transfer portal. And
Mm-hmm.
I got a feeling we're gonna get Lenore Sellers. Just putting that out there.
That wouldn't shock me. And I mean, like, you know, the shocking losses before I think were really discouraging if you were a Miami fan. And so now I think you're starting to see Miami start to finish games and start to like put people away a little bit and not just continue to run the ball when they could have kneel it down. Like some of those simple errors, they're
Don't do
starting
that.
to finally put them away a little bit.
Don't do
They're not
that.
totally done, but like Miami is still on a upward trajectory.
Yes, which I'm happy about. I'm not saying we're back yet, because back is national championships.
That's true.
But we're in the right direction, like you said.
Yeah.
The stock is rising. And I like that Mario Cristobal ain't got no problem playing the young guys, even with all the transfers. You know, you got Fitzgerald, who's a freshman, Malachi Tony. Like I say, he just turned 18, freshman. And I'll be honest with you, now with the transfer portal, I don't know about you. When I see our freshmen play and they're playing good, I feel great because I know they're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's a funny thing because you're like, oh man, we can actually project this guy
Yeah,
a couple years down the line. Whereas if you have a 4 or 5 star, then that played sparingly in
he's
the
gone.
season, he's gone.
He is out. Like, and he doesn't even, and that guy doesn't even necessarily go to the Alabamas, the LSUs. He might end up at like Arizona State just to play.
Right. And you know, no disrespect to any of the other college environments around the country, but like you do have an advantage with Coral Gables. That is a very good place to be in the world.
It is great. It's
People,
great. And NIL, we don't have to sneak and give money.
that's true.
We we don't have to sneak and give money. Uncle Luke, throw him some women. Trick Daddy, let the band handle it. You
Man,
know, that's come on, man.
I need to see Ed Orgeron with a full NIL budget.
Oh man, that'll be
Give it to me wherever he ends
Ed
up.
Okay, so LSU, what are we doing? Bring Ed back. Give him a 2-year deal. He doesn't have to be the coach. We don't got to be crazy about it, and everybody can be honest. Look, this is a 2 with a 3rd-year option,
Yep.
right? You're the stopgap. Get us back to that competitive, fighting, gritty team, and then we'll have somebody else come and mess it up after you win the natty for us.
Now there were some people who at LSU I don't think would ever sign off on that. But if Lane Kiffin went to Ole Miss or went to LSU, does Ole Miss reach out? You want to interim coach Ole Miss in the playoffs?
That'd be cool. I'd say the Lane Kiffin situation is interesting for me because Lane, what else do you want? What like it? I don't think he can find a better situation than Ole Miss. Like that's when you go hunting for something and you end up with less.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think Lane Kiffin need to keep his ass where he was. He done been to Tennessee, done been to USC. He had a cup of coffee in the NFL with the Raiders. None of those things worked out. He's in a comfortable place. It's kind of like what you said, right? Like, what's Ole Miss expectation, right?
Right.
Go to the playoffs. Honestly, Ole Miss is the Penn State of the SEC, right?
I could see
Win, win 10 to 11 games,
that.
go to the playoffs. Cool. You know, don't got to win the Natty. I mean, back before the playoffs, go to the Sugar Bowl, win the Cotton Bowl. Cool. We love you.
Yep.
No one cares about Ole Miss winning the national championship.
We saw the beginnings of this last year with IU. And it was you know, there's a lot of legacy media in college football right now that's still trying to convince everyone that there is a true difference between being at LSU and being at Ole Miss. And there's still a difference in what you can do resource wise because in LSU, you have a much more fertile recruiting base in state. Not that Mississippi doesn't have great recruits, but like it's Louisiana. But at
Yeah.
the same time, like Vandy, IU, and Virginia,
Okay.
before those programs had an 8-win ceiling. They really could just do that.
Yeah.
And now that ceiling's been completely ripped off. And, you're still trying to convince Indiana, like that community of Hoosiers, to be college football fans. You're
Yeah.
still trying to convince Nashville to get behind Vanderbilt football. You don't need to do any convincing at Ole Miss. Those people
Yo,
are still all in on Ole Miss football.
yo,
They just haven't been very good.
yo, I saw something on Instagram. And I had to show my girl. She didn't even like she cared, but she don't care about shit like this. Bro, they were just asking people how much money they spend on tailgating a year.
Yeah.
It's random people. 10, 15, $30,000.
Tony, let me tell you, I get a new Traeger for every Ole Miss season.
Basically, they cater food, drinks, tents, yurts. Country folks don't know nothing about yurts. They got yurts.
And the other thing is I think this is almost a little bit like dating where they're like, if I pull away, they're gonna want me a little bit more. I think that's what Lane's doing right
You
now.
think Lane trying to get a couple more meals in a bank account?
I think so.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. He look at Indiana coach get this extension. He's like, huh? He got an extension. I want an extension too.
I was gonna say
He's-
that Signetti money is a little bit different now.
yeah, he's looking. He like on Friday. Miss Johnson grass look nice. Stanley grass look nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get. I need my grass cut. Like so. I hope that's what it is because, like Nick Saban said, like bro, you probably in a better position. Look, he don't want to come to Gainesville. You don't want that kind of pressure because you're gonna be expected to win a natty, bro.
The term pressure is interesting because it is pressure, but I almost want to call it something different because it's like it's perception or like what you're seen as. Like, let's take James Franklin, for example. James Franklin could surpass Frank Beamer at Virginia Tech if he wins a national title.
Yeah.
What could Lane do to be bigger than Steve Spurrier in Gainesville?
What can he do to be bigger than Urban Meyer?
I, like, he's got two statue coaches to pole vault to be the guy, to be the person the stadium's named after, the field is. I can really only name one guy who took on a school that already had a giant of the sport so big and really surpassed it, and that's Nick Saban. That's it.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're at Penn State, you're always going to be compared to Joe Pa. Like, if
Yeah.
you're at Michigan, it's always going to be Bo Schembechler. Like, Miami,
Got Jimmy.
you've got Jimmy, you've got Howard, you've got even Dennis Erickson to an extent.
Yeah, Bush Davis.
Like, Larry Coker, for Christ's sake. Like
Yeah.
but like at Miami, you could surpass those coaches with multiple national titles.
Yeah.
At Ole Miss, they're already going to name the stadium after the guy. Like, it'll be
Yeah, just stay consistent.
Pippen.
Stay consistent. All you gotta do at Ole Miss is break through 1 year.
Right. And
One
like
break through 1 year, and you're a god to the whole state of Mississippi.
you will be that guy because Ole Miss is not won Jack since integration.
That's a fact.
like this is the first chance Ole Miss has had since Brown v. Board to win a national title.
Oh man, that is hilarious. That is freaking hilarious. Do you think Ole Miss really has a shot? When you look at the field,
I believe in that kid Trinidad Chambliss, man. That dude is legit.
he's a baller.
Because
He's a baller.
I think a difference maker at quarterback always keeps you in a game.
Yeah, true.
Johnny
They can get enough
Manziel covered up a lot of problems at Texas A&M during his time there just by being that difference maker. So, like, you never count out a team with a quarterback.
This is a fact. This is a fact. Real quick, let's talk a little more Virginia, and I'll let you out of here. Bye week this week, right?
Yes. Play no one.
Play no one. So that means no chance for an L. I know, like you were talking before, hopefully everybody takes care of business so you guys pummel Virginia Tech.
Yes.
You'll be at the game, right?
Yes, I will be in Charlottesville for the game. I am so excited.
Non-football question. You go to Charlottesville, where are you going to eat? Where's the restaurant you got to go to before the game?
So there is a bagel spot in Charlottesville named Bodo's Bagels. This is a place I grew up going to. It is the breakfast spot in Charlottesville. It is just like it's home. Like, it's that place where you're like, I'm there.
Yeah.
Like, you go there and it is like the spot. At least in my opinion. I love Bodo's Bagels so much.
I'm not mad at you. And look, I like how you say that because you're like me when it comes to food. Look, man, it might not even be that good. But for me, it's my love, all right? It's what I like.
Man, it is a bagel shop. It is like they're not serving Michelin star. It is a bagel joint. Get your food and go. But man, sausage, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel there. Beautiful.
All right. So, I mean, it's 2 weeks out, but we can, since y'all got a bye week, we can talk about it. I don't see any
Might as well. It's already hate week.
unforeseen injuries or anything. What score you got, Virginia Tech?
So, I think this is going to be a rock fight. I think
Really?
I think this is going to be a tough game. The coaches are trying to prove that they are good enough coaches to stay on James's staff.
Mm.
The players are trying to prove they're good enough to have a role at Virginia Tech next year because the belief is that they're going to be very good. And so they're like, well, I still want to be here and be a part of this. So I think Virginia Tech is going to play above their ability right now this week or next week. I think they will. And plus, even in a bad season, you win the end of the year rivalry game. It always feels a little bit better. But I think the Virginia Cavaliers go back to not being able to take a knee at the end of the game, but still winning in a crazy fashion. I am going to give it UVA 27, Virginia Tech 21
Mm,
off of a game sealing interception from number 5, who might be getting some Heisman votes, Cam Robinson, our inside linebacker.
I love all the defensive love this episode.
Man, it wins championships, brother. As an offensive lineman, I can't believe I'm saying this because I usually say offensive line wins championships, but man, defense this year.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I got y'all winning. I think I think we're gonna fuck around and see. We're about to see a Georgia Tech, Virginia ACC championship game.
It's
And
it's beautiful. It's 2008 again.
and damn, it hurts my heart as a Hurricane fan because golly, can we went to the ACC with intentions to dominate and we haven't won one. And
You got to feel better than a Knowles fan this year, though.
yeah, hey, I'm so only reason why I wanted the Noles to keep winning is just to make our win against them look better, you know. But on the
Same
flip,
for us, but I think we actually killed that football program. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
our game actually killed them.
yeah, I don't know how Norvell still has his job. When we talk about all the fired coaches, he got naked pictures.
for
Okay,
the one, and is the one guy that does not even attempt to develop guys either. Like,
no,
he's pure portal. Like, if you fire a coach who just portals, like, whatever, you can flip that. But like we were saying earlier, a lot of the coaches that have been fired are like, I want to develop the guys.
yeah, exactly. Like, damn, let him live. Yeah, I don't know how he's keeping it, but the good thing about us blowing out Florida State is Alabama still did lose to that same Florida State team. So hopefully the committee, when they're saying we compare like opponents,
Yes.
like that's what they said. Now this is a direct quote from the head of the board. We are comparing like opponents, even though we beat NC State by more points than Notre Dame and beat Notre Dame. But hopefully, if it comes down to the nitty gritty, they can look at that and say, "Hey, Miami blew those guys out in Tallahassee."
Exactly, and Virginia had the greatest field storming in history, so put us in.
Yeah, $50,000, man. You got to get your money's worth.
Hey, I'll take it again. If it's crazy being like a 9-win team versus like a 4-win team, but we may rush the field if we win.
Okay,
If we beat Virginia, because remember, 2004 to 2019, no wins against Virginia Tech.
that's crazy.
2019 we win. We have not won since. So like if we win, I may rush the field. I don't know.
You can't do it. You can't do it against 4-win team. I know it's a rivalry, but you can't do
I
it.
want
It's
to.
kind of like I think I text you about um I think somebody beat Iowa State earlier this year. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we can't storm the field just because they got a number in front of their name. Okay, we can't be storming the field for the 18th ranked team. All right, like we got to reserve that for like top 5 victories. And honestly, if your team's good, like I mean, and it shows, you could tell that you could tell the teams that's been there, right? Like Georgia's not storming the field when they beat Alabama. It's like, all right,
Thankfully, we did not rush the field when we beat Washington State. That
that was a good game.
was a crazy game. That was a game where Bubba, my black lap, was like all over me, like, dude, calm down.
That was a good game. Washington State, give these guys a real conference. All right.
Dude, they got a hell of a coach. Their coach is from South Dakota State, and if you've watched 1AA or FCS football, you know South Dakota State has some absolute fucking demons on their
Yeah.
roster. And so
Yeah.
like this dude is going to be at like Colorado or like Texas Tech or somewhere in that like western part of the country and is going to like unless like if he can build Wazoo into something big, but like he might end up at like Texas Tech and have a really crazy roster there.
I can see that. Or unfortunately, Colorado, because that honeymoon phase seems like it's going to be over soon. Uh, yeah,
That's
unfortunately,
rough.
it's getting ugly out there. Um, so what's on tap for 434 in the next couple weeks? What we got?
So, got a kind of Duke recap, bye week preview going into Virginia Tech episode uploading tonight. Then we're gonna go on a absolute blitz on next week, getting content out for that week. And then Friday, I drive up to Charlottesville for the game. And then Saturday, I will be basically like vlogging, for lack of a better word, that entire day, the experience of the game. So hopefully, we'll have some great content for that game. And then hopefully after whatever happens. I do have a bit of a look surprise for the game itself, so it'll be interesting.
Deuce, if you dress like damn Thomas Jefferson, I know something. Nah, I'm messing with you. You better not show up looking like you in Hamilton. I know that.
Absolutely not. Oh
All
dear
right,
God.
all right, cool, man. Good football going on in Virginia, though. I mean, I know you don't want to say it, but Virginia Tech getting James Franklin is a big deal. You guys are playing better, the Wahoos.
Big deal and a great hire objectively. And if UVA VT can be a top 25 matchup like it was at various points, like when Aaron Brooks and Mike Vick were playing against each other, that is a better thing because the state of Virginia has great football, and it'll be nice if we can keep Penn State out of recruiting our state.
Yeah, man. And even on the Norfolk State, right? You got Michael Vick out there doing good things. So
I'm rooting for Mike Vick so hard, man. My guy, one of my dad's players at Virginia, Elton Brown, is a native of the Virginia or of Norfolk, Hampton Roads area, coaching the offensive line there, doing a hell of a job. He was at the apprentice school, if you've ever heard of that. It's a shipbuilding school where they get paid to learn there and work on shipyards and play football. He moved and he went on to Norfolk State, right across the road there. Elton Brown, great offensive line coach, great follow on Twitter. He was a great Virginia Cavalier. I just got to shout out my boy Big E.
shout out Big E, man. All right, Deuce. Let everybody know where they can find you. Uh, yeah, let everybody know.
So I am at 434 defense on pretty much all platforms here on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And then for the people who are more inclined to a diamond, I also have a platform called Defer It to the Game, which with baseball season dying down a little bit right now is on a bit of a hiatus as I focus on football stuff. But man, best believe once Lead On, the World Baseball Classic, and spring training starts, we'll be hitting that hard too.
I will say this, bro. I want to say this. I admire, I really do, real shit. I admire the way that you've been able to transition in between these seasons of baseball and college football. This
we're
is
we're keeping the juggling active a little bit. I was a little bit afraid to talk about football at first, even though it's my area of life expertise. It's that point of like I know what I don't know, and so I know if I sound like I'm talking like nonsense. Whereas with baseball, I might
listen here.
not know what I don't know.
Listen here. The moment you sent me a play call sheet to play freaking NCAA, that should have been all you needed to know that 434 is for you. Okay. And guess what? Now that you've done it, you've learned that 343 is for all of us.
Man, it's for the people. It's for Virginia football fans. It's for football nerds. It's for anyone that wants good stories about what college football is actually like in this crazy time. I was in college when NIL got first rolled out, when the transfer portal got rolled out, so I saw all the craziness.
Yes, man. So yeah, man. Deuce, this has been great. I gotta talk to you a little baseball probably in the next couple weeks. We got winter meetings coming up. I'm gonna try and get out there because they're in Orlando. So we might have to talk some baseball soon.
apparently,
Uh,
apparently, the Pittsburgh Pirates are in on everyone.
you know what? I do this once an episode. I gotta get up and go part.
I do it to you specifically. I think
I do this every episode. Somebody says something that I it's no response needed. I'm not sitting here for that shit.
I'm
Um,
trying. trying to reach the top of the leaderboard of how many times have you made Tony walk off the set.
Every episode is something said that makes me get up, and you almost made it. You almost made it through.
I can't
You
help
never
myself.
brought up baseball. You were literally right here. I was just about to say thanks, guys. Comment, subscribe, and you just had to do it.
I can't help myself.
God almighty, man. You know what? We're gonna wrap this up. All right. Um, what am I about to say? Oh, what everybody who does any kind of content says: like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell a friend. This has been Talking Game. Peace.
Have a good night.
Dang, how did I do that?